This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Steering wheel. Laps of steering wheel here. Give him steering wheel. Hey, steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to him. Come on. Whoa.
Do that, can I please? Do that hip.
How the f*** is this possible?
I'm driving like a grandma. Get that, Ralph? Did you hear me?
On the radio,
Ralph, acknowledge. Now, come on, close him down and kill him. We've got a lunatic on the track down the interstate.
I am so annoyed.
Boys and girls, your attention, please.
Hello and welcome back inside the Part for May for podcast number 948. We're getting close to 950. That sounds like a Molly Hatchet album title or something. This is Todd.
No, Todd, not now.
A.K.A. Negative Camera. You know why I've asked you
must
here.
convince the villagers that I'm harmless.
I mean, that's pretty easy to do if I'm honest, really. Tonight, for your kind consideration, we're going to cover, boy, do we have stuff to talk
Controversy.
about. Yes, we've got that and much more. Before doing that, honestly, I probably should go to the right coast of our nation, nestled in our nation's capital. Well, not in it, but close enough to know how it works. You know her. You love her. The lovely, the redoubtable.
Grace!
Grace, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, Todd. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Me and Mrs. Camber just celebrated number 26th anniversary, which is pretty exciting.
That is pretty exciting.
We went to so we've always been big fans of Lyle Lovett, and so he was in town last, so we went for our anniversary. And we're sitting there, and Christian, a podcast listener, and I met at that concert last year.
Cool.
And he was there last night, so it was great to see Christian. Great guy, super guy, lives down, I believe is around Springfield here in Missouri. And so we're sitting there, and these people in front, and my wife was like, "Oh, it's our anniversary. Oh, that's great." And we're like, "Yeah." And my wife says, "Which one?" Is like, "Oh, our 44th." And we're like, "Oh." I guess 26 doesn't really sound like anything, really, compared to that.
I don't know, man.
That's pretty amazing. So it was good.
I think every day that Flip agrees to continue this is a blessing. Like, you know, who's keeping, right? Like, what?
Right. I know.
What's not every day?
Yeah, she's put up with my stuff for a long time.
I mean, I think that's just part. I mean, that's part of being in community with any person, but especially somebody that you're going to like be their person for the rest of your life. Woo, every day. Whether it's 42 years worth of days or 1 year worth of days, whatever.
Right. I mean, in Christian Horner's case, it was 20 years, the marriage with Red Bull. So that wasn't a bad one, I know. It's sort of a, one of those moments. Yes. But, and big shout out to Lyle Lovett. Great guy. Fabulous concert, as always. He's got Leland Sklar playing bass and Russ Conkle playing drums. And as Lyle said last night, without those two guys, music, period, would be radically poorer and different. Yeah. They've just been together for so long. Great guys. Fabulous concert. So anyway, we're going to talk about some Formula One news, aren't we? Yeah. Because it seems like that's kind of what we do.
Well, we didn't spend any time on it last time, so we have all this leftover news, right?
Yeah, because... last time, it was kind of the Christian Horner thing, and
it's a pretty big thing.
It was a pretty big deal, Yeah. So we thought we'd cover that, and then since we knew we were recording just a few days later, we saved the news. But I do have an update on the Horner thing, which I thought was an interesting article over at our very, very close, well, they're not really that close, but very good friends at Autosport.
Are they close like you and Lyle Lovitz, or are they?
Yeah, Lyle and well, Lyle did repost my tweets, but no, I don't know.
I don't know. Has Autosport ever retweeted anything we did? I think that makes you
no.
So then that makes you closer to Lyle Lovitz than to Autosport.
I'm closer to Lyle Lovitz than I am anyone at Autosport. That's
there you
correct.
go.
And Motorsport. Right. That's correct.
Friend of the show, Lyle Lovitz.
I met James Allen, a super nice guy when I met him at Toto one time. He was very polite, very nice guy. Oh. And, every once in a while I'll comment, but, he didn't know who I am.
Unlike that Christian Horner guy who also didn't know who you were, but,
Right. Exactly. So, no, but it was a nice article over there. I have a couple articles I'm going to reference in the news, but this one is a continuation, really, if you will, regarding the controversy around Christian Horner Red Bull. So the article says that there's this random 2% of shares that may have contributed to Horner's demise of Red Bull.
Right.
Allow me to, I'm just going to paraphrase some of the highlights. So I would urge you to go look at the article, of course, at Autosport, but I'm going to summarize a bit. There was this on May 31st, 2% of Red Bull shares transferred from the Uvidia group to Fides Trustees, I hope I'm saying that right, a Swiss trust company. Now, it didn't significantly alter the balance. Fides likely manages this 2% stake under the Uvidia's mandate. That's, their mandate. And it maintains tie control of 51% versus young and effervescent Mark Mateschitz and his 49% control.
Okay.
Now, the article goes on to suggest Christian Horner was sacked as Red Bull F1 boss 5 weeks after the share transfer, sparking some speculation that there could be a link, though unconfirmed, the article points out. Right?
Oh, we're going to it's unconfirmed, but as long as we say it was unconfirmed, it's fine. We're still going to run it.
It's fine. We're going to run it. Of course, on the flip side of that is like all that smoke over there. I wonder if there's a fire.
Maybe. I haven't walked over there to look myself.
Haven't looked. Can't confirm it. So following Dietrich, you and I talked about Dietrich Mateschitz' death in October 2022, and the Uvida family initially took a very strong operational role after he passed. But the Austrian management has sort of basically retained control of the, call it Red Bull empire.
Okay.
So there was, during all this discussion, there was this proposed move of the headquarters to Dubai or Amsterdam for tax benefits. But Austria was not for that, so they abandoned that concept.
Is the headquarters in Austria?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's in Austria. So they abandoned that idea. So then you had all these tensions, about Horner's future after the sexual harassment and coercion allegations. He was later cleared. And then you have Austria HQ pushing for his dismissal with Thailand, the Thai ownership, supporting him. But and when Dietrich passed, he sort of handpicked these directors, and I'm going to try to say them, but as an American, typically I don't pronounce the name. It's Kirchmeier, Menslav, and Watzlawick. And under these directors, Red Bull achieved a $10 billion revenue in 2023 and $11.2 billion revenue in 2024. They sold 12.7 billion cans.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. When you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself, talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
So, the concept there was maybe the Thai ownership said, oh, well, that's pretty good.
12.7 billion cans in only 11.6 billion different flavors.
Let's see. And what did we have to do to sell? Not much. We just kind of hang out here in Thailand and just kind of scoop that revenue up. And as a stockholder, that's cool. So then the article was talking about, and read the article as it talks about sort of these thoughts around the 2% as sort of a stake, this 2% stake transfer to this Swiss Trust Group. They were thinking that maybe it serves as a neutral swing vote for shareholder deadlocks, indicating some sort of diplomatic stabilization rather than maybe a power grab necessarily. And they say that, that Mark Manischitz and Uvidia are, have a good working relationship. Of course, that's, the impression that the Red Bull would give. But
they're not going to say it's a bad relationship.
Yeah, they're going to say, well, Mark's doing everything he can to get rid of the Thai ownership.
That's right.
So that's the point on the 2% was, and I may have briefly touched on it in last or earlier this week's on the podcast, was that this 2%, Thai has controlling interest over Austria, and the 2% is this fluctuating. And if it went to this trust, maybe that's when the erosion of the Thai support for Christian sort of waned, if you will, which may have exposed him because you've got 49, and then this 2% sitting out there. So if they move the 2% to a sort of, like the article suggests, this sort of neutral swing vote on that, maybe the 2% was, the Swiss Trust saying, maybe now's a good time to part with Christian. I don't know. But that may have at least moved the needle on the deal. So it's a curious thing. This 2%.
I'm not sure, right? Like, that seems like it's 2%. I mean, I get that it's 2% of, whatever, 12.7 billion cans of Red Bull, but I don't know. What do I? My goodness.
Was that thunder?
Yeah, we're in the middle of quite a storm here.
Wow, you are in the middle of a storm.
The cats did not enjoy that. Okay.
I bet they didn't.
So, I don't know. Speaking of that 2%, so 2%, it's apparently Florida here. I don't know. Like, it'll be done before we're done with the show, but,
Right.
There it is. I don't know. It just seems kind of like a weird thing. I wonder how that transfer is decided on. Like, it must be triggered by something, right? Like, that's...
Well, I think it was triggered by the Thai ownership, and it was kind of their mandate. But it is interesting as a balancing act, because if you had 249% owners and this 2%, because I think originally it's 51-49. So
right,
if 2% was moved to a third party, maybe this is then basically you're three people in the room, and the two, it's 2 against 1 on a vote, right?
Yeah, but one of those votes only has 2%.
Yeah, but it would swing.
I get the math, right?
Yeah, you get.
I get that. It seems like a weird way to I don't know, flex on people or to keep some balance. Like, we're just going to hold this little micro amount. in Switzerland, and whoever they are feels like, oh, well, we like the cut of this guy's jib. That's what we're going to go with. Well, okay.
Right. I hate to think, I lost my job because of 2%.
Right. Like, I don't know. It just seems like it seems like a weird way to break a tie. But, all right.
Yeah, it
cool.
kind of does. I don't know. Well, more power to them. But
I agree. I agree. I have heard the story, and it does seem to be what really nailed the coffin, if you will, in the Christian Horner letting go. But I think, and I guess I tried to make this point last week, and I've tried to make it before. I think that I have left jobs where I got a promotion. Well, that's really easy for the job I'm leaving to go, oh, well, Grace got a promotion. Now, it may not be just because of the promotion that I'm leaving, but it makes it easier for my former job to sleep at night, right? Because it was a promotion. There's nothing I could do.
Right.
And so, but when you just get a lateral and it's the same amount of pay, then you've got some soul searching to do.
Yeah.
To me, I think the allegations against Christian, while they are, I'm not trying to say they are not important. I just think it kind of falls along that same line. If they say we got rid of him because of these allegations of sexual harassment, nobody has to really think about it because we all go, well, that's terrible. Get rid of him, right? But we all don't live in a world where just because you do a terrible thing to another person, you get fired. I would love to live in that world, but we don't. There are plenty of people who do terrible things to people who keep their jobs and get to continue to be CEOs. So that's why I think
Andy Byron, that didn't work out well for him.
I think it's just a red herring, right? I think it's just a way so that nobody really has to think deeply about it or say out loud the real reasons they're getting rid of Christian Horner, because we can all just agree it's about these sexual allegations and let it go.
Right.
Does that make sense? And then nobody has to think too hard about it, and we can all just agree to disagree and get rid of them, and we can all move on. I just think there's more to it, and it may just be that's the reason that they can use to get rid of them. That's what sticks.
And nobody from either camp over there has said that was the reason. And I'm not even 100%. I think there's something much deeper going on with even that whole scenario with Christian. I think there's
it's very odd. That whole situation is very odd,
weird going on there. So no, I think I think our reasons stand on the last podcast of what really may have been more likely a motivator in some of that.
Somebody needs to write that book, and they can just be like, they can do the. I'm not saying this is real. I'm just asking for a friend. This might be what happened.
Yeah, right.
Does this sound plausible that this is what happened? That's what I want. Nobody has to say that's what actually happened. I just need enough, I'm just asking for a friend so that I know.
I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah. Just speculation. So maybe this is what happened.
Yeah, what's the 2% that sometimes things like that come back to play. I think Christian Gahn and the team and Ford coming in and working in the new engine program. This is great. We got people designing. We'll go out and we got Laurent Mekies, and that's awesome. We got Alan Ferman, and everything's great. I mean, the men and women that work for the team, they're wonderful, and it's all great. I think this 2%, I don't think Red Bull is done with its own power struggle, if I'm honest. So we'll see.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. When you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself, talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
I mean,
and I'm not talking about Red Bull Racing. I'm talking about Red Bull.
The whole thing, yeah.
Red Bull Prime, like Giddy Prime. I'm talking about Red Bull Prime, right?
That's right. Of which, I mean, it seems crazy to us as Formula One fans, but I don't even know how close Red Bull Racing is the Red Bull Prime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that their branding or what makes Red Bull known to people. So if you took away the drinks themselves and you sort of look at all the other stuff they do, I'm not sure how high up on that list Red Bull Racing is from Prime. I think that would be an interesting thing to look at. I don't know what
he who controls the taurine controls the universe.
That is true.
Yeah.
The Spice Man.
Yes, that's right. All I see is a Mercedes I want to kill. All right, enough Dune. In other news,
Can we see Christian Horner do the sandworm walk? That's what we really want.
I see Christian Horner more as a Duncan, Idaho, right? Maybe.
Oh, Duncan, Idaho. I always wanted to name a cat Duncan, Idaho. I think that would be a great cat name.
Or
a dog, name. It'd be a good animal.
Duncan,
like,
Idaho. I like
Duncan, Idaho. What are you doing?
Yeah. I like that. That would be good. Oh boy. He's the queen. That's all right.
It's an off week podcast, people. What did you say? We're almost like 1,000 podcasts. People know what they're here for.
Come on, I dig up some of these sound bites. That's a classic. Some of you did know what that was from. So Flip and I say that all the time to each other. Going back to how long your relationship has been with the person that you spend your life with, you know who you married. If you're expecting me to be able to do that, well, you know who you. I couldn't do that before. I surely can't do that now. So 1,000 podcasts into this, people. This is the fun you get. This is, isn't it? It's such fun.
It is fun. I'm having fun.
It's such fun. Hey, speaking of fun, this is a fun story.
Sure it is.
This is a fun story. Grace, our friend Adrian Newey.
Yeah, we're also like this.
Yeah, we're like this, Adrian and I. Yeah. Fun story about his lack of interest in the 2025 car. He was saying that, let me just read Fernando Alonso's quote. So this is also most of my stories today can be found at Autosport.
There you go.
Yes, I'm bigging them up. I'm carrying water for Autosport. Bless their hearts. They don't know who I am, but maybe they could send me a Harry and David fruit basket over the holidays. Nice. Here's what Fernando told Spanish broadcaster DAZN.
Isn't that a metal band?
I think it might. No, Danzig. Very close.
Danzig was a metal band.
Very close.
Very good.
Yeah, I like it. Fernando said, quote, he's working, talking about Adrian, he's involved. He's very motivated, but it's true that this year's car doesn't seem to interest him much. Every time we ask him something about this year or how to improve something, he gets up and goes to another office. So he's already in the 2026 mode. So the headline is like, Adrian Newey has second office to avoid working on 2025 car.
I love it.
I thought it, well, to be fair, though, you've been around for a big chunk of Adrian's career. To be fair, he's never really done a deep dive into a team of joints. It's when he got to Williams or got to McLaren or got to Red Bull. It wasn't like he went in and said, all right, let me roll the sleeves up. And, it's the Fetzer valve right here. You prepare that with some gauze pad and 4-in-1 oil.
Like he's a mechanic, right? And he's just like greasy hands and he's got the little blue towels and,
Right.
He's out there wrenching on the car. Yeah.
Right. It's not like he says,
it's not
I know what's wrong with it.
You just got to talk nice to it before you start it.
Yeah. Well, here's your problem right here. He doesn't do any of that. He just gets in and starts working on. He doesn't care about current state, really, other than to make sure the institution and the platforms and the tools and all that's there. But he doesn't really care about current state performance out of the current state car. It's all about future state with him. So on one hand, he was delivered to he's hired to deliver a 2026 winning car.
So that's what he's working on.
Yeah, and so taking time to toil around the current iteration could be seen kind of as a waste of time. You'd like to think, though, wouldn't you, Grace? That you'd like to think, Adrian, could you do us a favor? could you just give us a quick walk around of this thing and just give us your thoughts? I mean, we're trying to get Lance to get in the points, for crying out loud.
They're just sliding the blueprints like under his door, like a hotel at midnight when you need to check out, right? They're just
not asking you to redesign the current car, but
could you take a look at this?
Yeah, just give it a once around. I mean, Lance just said it's the worst POS he's ever driven, and that's some strong words from a seasoned veteran like Lance. So could you just give it a walk around and, whatever?
Okay, so I had two thoughts when I read this story. One, why do they keep inviting him? If he's not going to come to the meeting, I think about it like in my own job, right? Like, don't we all hate that when you're like, why was I invited to this meeting? Right? Like, so why do you keep inviting him? Why does he keep coming? Right? Because that's the other side of it.
Right.
If somebody keeps inviting you to a meeting, you're like, I don't want to go to this meeting. Why am I on this project? You tell somebody and go, please stop inviting me to this meeting. You don't just keep going to the meeting. I just think that's great. Like the sort of like inner office of, Aston Martin. Like, I guess we all go to this meeting and you're clearly not interested, but you're on. It's a repeat. It's a reoccurring meeting invite. We can't take you off, man. It's reoccurring. You got to come. And how do I get a job like this? How do I get a job where I am so important and so valued that I can just walk out of that meeting that I don't know why you invited me to it and I don't know why I keep coming, so I'm going to get up and go somewhere else in the middle of the meeting. I'm that uninterested and I'm important enough that none of you are like, that's just Grace. It's fine. I want that. That's my inspiration. Like, I have X number of years left in the workforce. I need to be that. I need to have enough something that I can just be like, I can be Charsley and just close the lid on my laptop and be done with this meeting.
That's what he does on the podcast. Because Paul's got that. Away. He's got that je ne sais quoi. He's got that.
We're done.
It's his vibe, man. Paul. He's in the middle of the podcast. Say, okay, and thanks, and we'll see you next week. Paul's like, boom. Laptop closed. Done. I'm out of it. It's like, oh.
Okay, good. Okay. I thought we'd say, hey, how are the kids? How's life?
And what's going on? Just boom.
We're done.
No, he does. We talk about it.
We kid. But I don't know. This is just like some straight up office stuff that I just love the idea of Aston Martin being an office like the rest of us all work in, and that or that they have like maybe they take bets like that. Alonso and Lance Stroll take bets. How long until Adrian Newey gets up and walks away?
Leaves. Right.
Like, what do we have to say? Like, how can we keep this going? It's kind of like, giving a friend that's going to give a presentation a word that they have to work in somehow that makes no sense in the presentation. Like, or they have office bingo cards. Like, Adrian, he's leaving. Check.
He's leaving. It kind of paints a picture like he's like, Adrian's like Rain Man. Wapner's on it for Wapner.
Yeah.
Definitely on four.
He's out.
He gets up and just walks out.
I don't know.
I wonder if he's tried that with Larry yet.
Oh.
Because I bet that doesn't fly with Lawrence. He's the only one that walks in, says you got 15 minutes, go, and then gets up, adjusts his junk, and leaves.
I mean, that's the question we really want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so the person at Autosport who had this at Danzig, the person at Danzig that had this conversation with Fernando Alonso, I need you to do some follow-up. Call him on the phone and ask him, was Lawrence in that meeting?
Right.
Because you're right. I think that would make all the difference that if Lawrence is the one that sent you the invite and you came and he keeps inviting you and you keep coming and you keep leaving, what's going on here?
Right.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, that'd be a tricky holiday party. Boy.
Yeah, does Newey go to holiday parties? I don't know. It doesn't seem like... I don't know. He never seemed really... He's not like Franz Toast, but, I don't know that's his jam.
I can tell you how Franz works a party, works that room, man.
I like the idea of just like walking the perimeter, eating some canapes, getting a drink, and out the door, right? That's what we all want.
Nobody talked to him. And I felt, here's me. I'm trying to be empathetic. And I watch him walk in, and he walks around this. It's a very, sort of fancy affair that I was part of the press in there. And so he walks the whole perimeter room, grabs a couple nibbles on a little plate, kind of stops at a table there. Nobody talks. And I thought, and I'm sitting there, Well, I feel bad for Franz because nobody's talking. All the other team bosses there, different team personnel, and Glitterati and all that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I start to head over, and right as I start to head over, he just turns on his heels and right out the front door. I even followed him out the front door. I was going to go, no, don't leave. Come on in. We'll have a drink, And I get out there, and I'm literally, 60, 70 feet behind him, and I walk out. And he's already in a car and gone. It was almost like screeching wheels leaving. It wasn't, but you could see that.
Not the man's first gathering.
No.
He
worked
time.
it,
He knows exactly which station has the good drinks, which station has the good canapes. He did his lap and he was out.
Right. So I had to go back in and hang out with Flavio and everybody.
That's right.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, this is interesting news. It's, you may have missed. If you have, you should redouble your efforts and go back and watch the podcast where I interview Tim Mayer. He's running for FIA president. And so that was last week. And I had a great time with Tim. Great guy. Really enjoyed the conversation. Yeah. So now the FIA presidency race is heating up.
Yeah.
And you got MBS now, on full court press. He's out shaking hands and kissing babies and, trying to run and getting snippy with Tim in the press, and Tim's punching back. And so first hint of how these things may go is it's interesting because I'm telling you, you don't even have to be in the paddock to see the friction points between MBS and Formula One, Stefano itself.
Yeah.
Red Bull, the team bosses, the drivers don't even want to talk to him. He comes up and, wants to shake their hand after the race, and they're like, and Lewis has nothing to do with him.
Lewis,
right?
Absolutely, right?
Nothing.
Lewis has time for everybody.
Yeah, not him. No,
right.
no.
Like, I think that's the thing, right? It's not like Alonso or something. It's not like Kimi Raikkonen. Right. Kimi Raikkonen doesn't talk to anybody. Well, Lewis, however.
Yeah, he's got it. And for you listening to the pod, this. You've watched this just like I have. You've seen the body language. I mean, George Russell, not happy. Lewis, not, none of the drivers don't really dig being around him by body language anyway.
Yeah.
The team bosses, I think have had enough. And out of nowhere, as we head into election season, Toto Wolff comes out with a golf applause for MBS. So watch this. Watch the team bosses. If they start bigging him up, watch drivers. If they start bigging him up, the system and everything is churning. So just be on the lookout. So here's what Toto, he said that MBS's iron hand leadership has its benefits. Mm-hmm. Really? Okay. Because that seemed like the one thing that was really ticking you all off. But now he says, no. He said, quote,
I'm okay with it.
I think his stance on swearing is right. Many of the drivers who scream on the radio don't speak English as their first language. If a French or Italian driver say, go F yourself on the radio and think it's normal, it's probably because he's heard it that way since his karting days. But if you translate it literally into his native language, it can actually shock him. I think kids need to learn not to insult others on the radio. That engineer on the radio to the driver has a family at home who are very proud of their father or husband is working for a Formula One driver. If a driver lashes out at him like that, it's not good. And unfortunately, that's already happened in junior categories. So let me get this straight. So apparently it's a language barrier issue, Grace. I mean, I don't speak other languages, but spending a lot of time in Belgium and hearing the F word in their language, I mean, I could say that word, Grace, and I'm pretty darn sure I'd understand what that word meant.
So I think 2 points on just this point are made. One is, idioms and jokes and swear words are very hard to understand in a language that isn't your native language, right?
Yeah.
Right? So I think when I was in graduate school, I would always say that one of the other graduate students was lame because she wouldn't come out with us afterwards. Why are you being lame, Todd? And then some of the international students were like, oh my God, is Todd okay? Oh, right. Lame. She's sick. She's not sick. I meant that she's not any fun, right? I was just razzing her and telling her she wasn't any fun. So there's a fair point there that, you know.
You think? Because I'm thinking go F yourself in just about any language means go F yourself. I don't know if there's a lot of nuance in that one.
No, but what I'm saying is that if it truly is, kids don't know what that. I mean, if you think between, now you're trying to make me. I'm feeling like a Toto Wolff apologist, and that's not the point I was trying to make. I'm not a Toto Wolff apologist.
You are. You're being an apologist for Toto Wolff.
That's not what my point was here. But I think even between us and the Brits, right? There are things that the Brits say that Americans will be like, whoa, and vice versa. And
it's a shame what they've done to the English language. It really is.
I'm just saying, we speak the same language, and there are clearly words that they say that we couldn't say here, and vice versa, right?
True.
Okay? So, but I'm not trying to say that, I'm not trying to be a Toto Wolff apologist here. I'm just saying that there is a true statement there that it is hard. Language nuance is hard when it's not a language you grew up with, and there are things that I might say that somebody else might say, and it's okay or not okay. Right. Now, does that mean that we should just tell people to stop saying these things? The things, I think his second point is really what he should be focused on, which is if you want people to behave differently, you, Toto Wolff, also have to behave differently. It's not as if we've never seen you slam your headphones or seen you use the F word. I can read lips just like everybody else can, yeah. Right? So I think the thing is that I see what he's trying to say, which is, hey, if we want these kids to be better, we need to teach them to be better, right? And by better, I mean not be so abusive on the radio. But then you also have to not be abusive on the radio. And that has to be across the boards to how your organization operates, right? You lead by example. If you have to say, I'm the boss, you're not the boss, right? If you have to say, don't swear on the radio, well, then you're not doing a very good job, right? Then you're not really putting that culture forward. So I don't know what this has to do with MBS other than you're just trying to kiss his butt or trying to keep your butt safe given what the election's coming up. Or, this isn't really about like Toto's, it's a newfound love that he has for MBS.
It's an interesting. I was not expecting that.
Given because I don't think it's
obvious friction the team bosses have had with him.
I don't. That's why I'm thinking. This is just like this is Ron speak, right? Yeah. He really doesn't necessarily think that MBS's iron hand ruling about swearing on the radio is a good idea. It's a false premise. He's just going with that because it is probably the least offensive thing that MBS has put out there that he can endorse. Yeah,
and it doesn't stop there. The praise goes on. Here's what else. He says that MBS got it right with the 11th team.
Now.
So
now he did.
Yeah, now. And that's nice to hear, but I tend to think that it had less to do with MBS rubber stamping Cadillac and more to do with the existing team bosses in F1 not happy with Michael and Mario's approach. Once Michael and Mario Andretti were out of the role, they were happy to rubber stamp GM and Cadillac. Of course. Surprise. So in short, if swearing and approving 11th team that all the teams in F1 welcomed is his big achievements,
great.
I talked to Tim Mayer. I think he's got a lot more going on for him and what he can achieve than that. If those are your two big iron-handed accomplishments, which were good.
I think the 11th team could be good if it wasn't for the whole Andretti involvement, that it wasn't good and now it's good, right? If it had been good before, then I think you could say bringing in an 11th team is a positive, right? That is something that MBS could hang his hat on.
Yes. Had that just Yes, but then find out the teams in F1 really were at odds with Andretti's, and once Andretti's were shed of the project, and then all of a sudden F1 was excited and talking about all the value they'll bring to the sport. Remember, it was that value they were bringing to the sport that Toto and others were saying, I just don't see they're going to really bring you value. So it was complete two sides of their mouth. So it had, basically, I mean, at this point, MBS could auto-pinned their approval at this point, and it wouldn't have mattered because F1 and the team bosses were happy with it.
I know, but, I agree with you that if MBS in election season becomes your boss again, now's the time to be here's some positive things that aren't really things I think are positive, but they're the things I can agree with the most.
And I don't want to overlook the thing. Maybe Toto has issues with Tim. And so maybe he's saying, if Tim's going to be the guy, then I'm going to start bigging up MBS and talking about how his ham-fisted, iron-fisted leadership has positives.
I just think, I agree with you. I think that, I don't know, sometime in the future, in the annals of Formula One director history, if we look back at MBS and go, well, he got the F word off the radio, and I was MBS, I'd be pretty sad that was my legacy, right? I think that's what we're speaking to here, that it's just the idea that I would hope that MBS's legacy in the annals of Formula One, presidency is more than that.
I agree.
And
I think you've got to have a bigger...
I think his other legacy is now we know a lot more about piercings and what piercings Lewis Hamilton may or may not have.
And who's setting MBS's KPIs? That's what I want to know.
I don't know either, but I just saw this all as, I am with you. I see this all as kind of like, they has to say something. Somebody asked him the question. I think that's always worth reiterating too. It is not as if, Toto Wolff's just walking around like, I have praises to sing. I hope somebody's here to ask me about it. Somebody asked him a question. He had to have an answer.
Right.
And this was all he could come up with.
Well, cool. Because if he starts wearing "Vote for MBS" T-shirts around the paddock, then we'll know. But I agree.
Maybe so now that we've had this conversation, what I think. So last week I felt that the best thing for drama, for messiness, would be for Christian Horner to go to Alpine, and you added that. What if he went to Haas, which I think would also be great. Also a great idea. What if Michael Andretti went to Red Bull? That, I think, would also be some next level messiness. Like, I don't like Michael Andretti, but I might be willing to let it go if that happened, because then it would be like, oh, I'm still here. Y'all tried to get rid of me. Right. I found another way in anyway. Thanks a lot, Toto Wolff.
Now I'm with Red Bull and Ford, not GM and Cadillac.
That level of pettiness, I enjoy. And I enjoy that kind of pettiness in Formula One. So,
that would be funny.
I would enjoy that. Michael Andretti just rolled in some other way.
Right. That would be good.
You can't get rid of him.
Oh, boy. What other news I got? Oh, hey, this is a good article. Again, over at Autosport. Nice article. It was talking about making the 2026 tires for Pirelli and how it's difficult. And I thought it was just a good article that kind of talks about the challenges, and Mario Isola, the head of F1 program for Pirelli, is quoted in there. I'll read you some quotes. But so just, most of you all know 2026 regulations, big changes, right? Changes the car, chassis, aerodynamics, engine, everything, right?
All the stuff Adrian Newey's in charge of.
Yeah, all the stuff that Adrian Newey leaves to go to the other office to think about. And so, but I thought the article was timely and it was good because it was talking about, the car's engine, all of this is radically changing, but trying to make a set of tires and the compounds for next year on a car that they have no baseline. Well, they got some really, really good assumptions, but they don't have one of those cars running, right?
Right.
So it was a decent article. The reality is the cars and engines and everything are changing, and so are the tires for 2026, which means like the mule cars they use today to test those compounds, that's not representative really of next year's car. And
how can you build tires then?
Yeah. So how do you make tires for an assumed downforce level, et cetera, et cetera. And these mule cars, they're handy, and the teams have worked to try to get them
better than nothing.
Yeah, they are. And they try to get them sort of what they might like in 2026, but they're not exactly, of course. So they've, messed with downforce levels and those kind of things. It's all estimation. It's a lot of math and everything, trying to figure it out, but it does make it difficult. And it was interesting. The article points out that the FIA wanted to revert back to 16-inch for the tires to save weight, but Pirelli opposed that. And they had several reasons they opposed it, but one of them, or maybe possibly chief among them, was road relevancy being a large issue. And I thought, good on them, because to be fair to them, I agree with them. Larger tire sets are very common on road cars, and they have to have some reason to be doing this too. Why should Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, Aston Martin be the only ones that get to benefit on road relevancy in their program and Pirelli not? Right. So like in the old days with the 13-inch tire, nobody's running 13s.
Right.
Unless you're a small economy car or something like that, but you don't really equate that
with
Yaris. Performance. Yeah. So when you equate for performance, it's a larger tire. And so I thought, well, that makes sense. And they should oppose that and keep them 18s. So the other interesting thing is what Mario had to say to Autosport about it. He said, quote, "I'm satisfied with the development so far, but of course there are a lot of question marks." He said, first of all, that's related to the car. We're using mule cars. Teams are doing a good job in trying to give us a car that is representative as possible, but they're still current cars. It means they are cars with a different aero package and a different level of downforce as well. Actually, we estimate that the downforce they are generating is higher compared to what we'll have next year. So this means that it's a bit difficult for us to have a range of compounds that is perfectly centered across the performance of the car. If the car is stressing the tires more or less compared to what you expect, then of course there's a risk to go too aggressive or too conservative with the tires because you don't have a clear idea on what you will find in 2026. And I thought that really summed up, I think, the challenge that they're facing.
I feel like he needs an anger management translator. Like, that was like the nicest way of saying
it was.
Wow, that first race is whoa. And you're all gonna blame me, and it's not my fault, right? Like that's really what that summarized there, right? Like I mean, it's similar to Pirelli takes a hit, and Pirelli's like, I'm doing what they told me to do, right? Formula One said, do this, I did that, and you're all mad at me, right? Like I am not the person you should be mad at. So that just was like a whole lot of very well crafted, which is why Isola has that job and not me, because I just would have been like, y'all are a bunch of fools. I'm out here with this car. There's nothing like the car we're going to race next year. And I'm supposed to come up with 5 tires that are just going to magically work in Bahrain. Yeah, that's definitely what's going to happen.
You're like, cool. I can't work with this.
Right. What do you want? Right. What do you want from me? Magic? I can't make magic.
Well, you got to get out there. Tires. You got to get out ahead of the narrative, because you remember several years ago they went a little too aggressive, and they had all those delaminations at the British Grand Prix, right? And that was a big deal. And they, to their credit, they had to go back and recreate a ton of more, I call it more, for lack of a better term, more robust tires. But that was they took a punch to the chin on that one.
You know what? He should have this printed on like business cards, so that when everybody comes to him kvetching, he can just hand this to them.
I said this. Here's the card.
I said this. Remember that?
Yeah. I said
again, going back to the like your life partner, right? There's always some part of this that's like, I told you that, but I love you, and so I'm not going to say I told you so, but I did tell you so, and we both know that. So now we're going to do what I told you to do, right? Okay, cool. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
There's some sort of like a relationship humility, because you're going to be on the other side of that, so you can't rub it in too hard, right?
Right. Yeah, the other element I'll be interested to see in 2026. We know even I think if you're newer to Formula One, you've heard them talk about how the teams don't like the full wet tires,
right.
and they say they're terrible or whatever, and they typically hardly ever run them, right? And so Pirelli knows that. They've been working on this full wet tire and getting better performance out of it, that the teams will actually use it. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with in 2026, if that's a significantly improved tire for performance in heavier rain. Of course, to be fair, I'll be honest with you, they always talk about the full wets and, should we spend a fortune trying to develop this incredibly good tire. But it also seems, if I'm honest, that F1 have gotten kind of in the habit of just red flagging races that would have required full wets anyway.
Right.
So they're not really even racing in heavy rain.
No.
They just red flag it. And the flip side of that coin, you say, well, Todd, the reason they red flag is because the tires are terrible. And very well could be. It could be a knock-on effect. So that's what I'm interested in, to see those existing compounds, the full wets, have they improved them that will actually race and stop red flagging wet races? So watch this space.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Next year. It's a little spicy.
And the whole thing could be, I don't know.
Not good enough, damn it! Not good enough.
Not good enough.
Maybe Mario Iazzola should find another office. You know what? I told you in 2025 that this is what the 2026 tire is going to look like, and just walk away.
And walk down to your 2027 office.
That's right. And that's where I'm going to be when you need me.
Right. Yeah.
And you should just have like a sign, like an open-close sign, like on the outside, like that says 2026 tires. Just turn it over, 2027 tires.
2027, right. And then shut the door.
Don't bring your 2026 problems to
I don't want to know your 2026 problems.
This is 2027. Didn't you see the sign?
Yeah.
I'm not here for this.
You got problems with 20. Join the 12-step help program. I don't know. I'm not dealing with that, because as you can see by my door, I'm dealing with 2027 issues.
That's right. I am not the higher power you're looking for.
That's
right. Just walk out.
It. Let's see. Let's do some Albin's Cat, shall we?
Yeah,
it's been a minute. We didn't do any last week. Kind of felt like we should have. People felt like they got robbed. Robbed of what? I don't know. It's a free podcast, but
I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah. It's. I enjoy it. It's a favorite part of the show for me.
Yeah. All right. Hit me with some Albin's Cats.
All right. So first, I believe this was from Silverstone. This always happens. At least I made notes about it, but I forgot to note which race this came up in.
Yeah.
But often I find the turns of phrases that the Brits use are sometimes interesting to me as an American. One was frighteners. They kept saying, and I listened to Formula One, so that's like Julian Palmer and David Coulthard. They kept somebody would overtake somebody, they'd be like, oh, they put the frighteners on him. The frighteners? What? It's not that I've never heard this phrase. It was just, it used in this context. It was just very funny to me that it came up not once, but multiple times, that somebody kept saying, oh, the frighteners. Oh, okay, cool. Sure, Britners.
Britners.
Yeah, sure, Britners. That's what I said. Okay, so cool. So
I like it. That's good slang for British people, Britners.
Britners. Watch, we get like 4 YouTube comments. Now I'm going to get a lot.
I know. We get all of our British friends.
That's fine. It has nothing to do with you and everything with my inability to speak. It's fine.
Right.
You know who you're listening to. Also, they occasionally like GQ Sport. I don't even know if you've ever watched these YouTube videos, but they do them with lots of famous people, but also with F1 drivers. Like, what are the 10 things you have to have when you go race to race? Like, what are the things you carry with you? Like, George Russell takes his own pillow everywhere because he hates hotel pillows, which I related to.
Why, my bottle of Paco Rabanne.
That's right. Thanks for asking. But what I liked was that Charles Leclerc brings the glasses, and the statement he made was, I just struggle a bit more to see perfectly. Like, what a nice way to say, like, you wear glasses, you just struggle a little bit more than everybody else to see perfectly. Like, there's not a problem.
That's why you occasionally run off track and hit the wall. You just didn't quite see the curb.
Maybe. I just love that. Yeah. That turn of phrase was kind of nice.
Yes, it is nice. Very polite.
I do also want to say, so we're on break this week from Formula One, but there is a MotoGP race this week.
Does anybody have anything for Marcus?
Probably not, but This guy is back.
Oh, yes. Vote for Pedro.
Well, that's this guy.
Ah, yes.
This is Jorge Martin. I'm sorry. It's not really.
Oh, yeah. So you and I talked about this, and after he body slammed Aprilia,
yes,
we were like, oh, he's done for the rest of their. There's
he's
no
back.
way. But he's back. Yeah.
And so I think it's because he found out how much it was going to cost him
to get out.
Yes, right. And so now it's like. I take that mostly from Aprilia, sort of like, because they gave him I know, you got a few little bumps to your head. You weren't in the greatest headspace. We'll take you back. Yeah, somebody did the maths, and they found out that he really can't get out of his contract for cheap. And so now he's like, oh, I don't know. It was a dark time, which it was for sure. A dark time for me, and I was making rash decisions, and thanks Aprilia for taking me back. So we're in Brno this weekend, and they had the sprint today, and he stayed on the bike, which is at this point very good. He did an admirable job. He's looking good. He spoke well. Did a very nice press conference where he answered everybody's questions, and not sometimes not a Toto Wolff kind of way in the earlier story, right? Like he actually answered people's questions because, of course, people are like, "We thought you said they were trash, and now you're back. So what's going on?" But again, I think in relationship parlance, he was out on the streets. He realized dating is hard now, and he'd like to not be on those streets anymore until he's taken back.
Right.
So,
that's funny.
So, our hopes and dreams. So, last week's race, everybody was falling off the track, and so I thought there for a while we were going to have a podium of Mar, which would be Marquez, and Luca Marini, right? So that would be Mar. But now we could have Mar.
Yes.
So we could have 4 Mars in a row, but it'll be more likely to just be Mar, which would be fine too.
Yeah.
So that's the big news this weekend, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Everybody can just stay on the bike. I did also. I don't know how much anybody pays attention to these things, but the Chinese EV car manufacturer Zeekr. Have you heard about this? The Kimi Raikkonen mode?
No.
Okay, so Kimi Raikkonen, I don't know how much this is just their marketing, but they made him their chief performance advisor, and their high performance mode on their car is the Kimi Raikkonen mode.
Oh, that'll put the frighteners on them.
Yeah, exactly. Good job. It'll put the frighteners on you for sure. Yeah. Kimi Raikkonen mode, but it was just the most random thing. Watching some YouTube video, and it's like, oh yeah, Kimi Raikkonen mode. Now, can we get this car here? No, but. If you could, there's a reason to get it.
Yeah, the Kimi Raikkonen mode.
Yeah, there's that.
I like it because they're like, well, Kimi, we want to do this. It'd be.
How the f*** that's possible?
How's that possible?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's great.
Steering wheel. Yeah, I think that would be. I think that was a pretty fun Formula One nod there. Yeah. Good old job.
Cool.
Good job, Zeekr.
Way to go.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you ready for some no shit? I have fun no shit headlines.
Okay. I'm ready for this.
All right. So there wasn't a ton of news out there, folks, but I'm gonna go through it pretty quick.
Doesn't stop us.
I have several.
There's no stopping us.
There is no stopping. We're like Lewis Hamilton.
That's right.
Okay. So since this is showing our love for Autosport, I thought, what would be fun is you and I, the whole premise behind the No Shit headlines is going out and finding all this British tabloid headlines and how ridiculous they can be, right? So I thought, what if Autosport decided to take their cues from British tabloid headlines and started writing all of their headlines like you would see in British tabloids, right? Okay. So I went through the last 10 or 11 top Autosport articles on Formula One.
What's actually going to be more fun is if you read the tabloid rewrite and people have to get some of these, it's clear what the story is, but some of them, what is the actual story is a fun game.
Okay. You want me to read the tabloid rewrite first?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I have to figure out what, and the listeners at home have to figure out what the actual story is they're, because to me, that's the fun part of the no shit headlines is that they say something and I'm like, and I don't, no idea what I would be reading if I clicked on this link.
Right. Okay. Here we go. Number one. The rewrite of the Autosport headline is this: Sainz's shocking secret weapon ignites Williams F1 comeback. Is this the end of their woes?
Wait, is he brought something with him? Like he brought a Mr. Coffee pot with him and that's the secret weapon?
Right.
It's not like he's the secret weapon, because I think that would be, which of course is a great tabloid, because I type headline, because I don't think even Sainz, I mean, he's not slotting. He's not like, thank you, LA, right? You're welcome. You know, like he's not really that quite audacious of a personality to just be like, I'm here, Williams, you're welcome, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not really how Carlos rolls, but that's how that makes it sound. That like, yeah.
Here's the original headline.
All right.
This is Autosport's actual headline: How Sainz brought the missing ingredient to drive Williams forward.
So what is the missing agreement? Him.
The coffee pot, apparently.
His racecraft. The coffee pot, right.
Maybe espresso machine.
What has replaced Excel, right? Like whatever
whatever moving from Excel to Monday.com or Jira or Confluence or something. Maybe that's what
right. He brought Jira with him. That's what he did.
He brought Jira with him. That's it. Next tabloid rewrite: F1's greatest season ever. Shocking secrets from the past unveiled.
Oh, that could be any season. What is their best?
All it is it's an author over at Autosport wrote a piece that's called My Favorite F1 Season, Honorable Mentions. That's it.
Oh.
It's great. But that's exactly how the headline would read at a tabloid. It's so good.
1967.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I
great.
love the 62 season. Let's see. Next tabloid. F1's money madness on the brink. Exclusive. Why the cash cow could crash.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't that great?
That's a good. I don't know what I would be clicking on, but
well, I'll tell you. If you were at Autosport, the original headline: Why F1's commercial boom can't be taken for granted.
I mean, yeah.
It's great. I love rewriting these. These are great. Tabloid rewrite.
Yeah.
Bearman's F1 destiny sealed in one jaw-dropping race. Ferrari's next superstar? ?
Oh, the bear. I do love the bear.
The actual headline is how one race shaped Bearman's F1 future and marked out his Ferrari dream. Tabloid rewrite: Damon Hill's stunning British Grand Prix triumph. Fate or fraud? Shocking truth revealed.
One of the joys of marrying somebody who was not into Formula One, who's now come into the world of Formula One, is when things like Damon Hill come up. And I have a history with Damon Hill, even though I didn't watch when Damon Hill raced, right? But I was close enough, like, there's some history there. It's kind of like Jacques Villeneuve. I have some history with this person that Flip does not have. I enjoy watching Damon Hill through his eyes, right? Like, Damon Hill now, it's kind of like Sebastian Vettel. Like, you tell me about, like, I used to hate Sebastian Vettel, but, like, the guy that raises bees, I love that guy, right? Like, it's like a different Sebastian Vettel, right? So there's some joy to me of this, like, what feels like a reinvented Damon Hill, if you would ask me, that is now out there that is just like, oh, we love that guy. Damon Hill, he's great. Like, I love this reinvention, this new relationship people have with him that they don't know who he is. It's the kinder,
gentler Damon Hill.
I love it.
Let's see. Next tabloid, Silverstone's sizzling secrets exposed. 75 years of F1 scandals and speed.
Okay, I'm definitely clicking on that one.
You would click on that. You'd like, oh my gosh, what is Dave Richards doing over at the BRDC?
You know, it would have to be David Richards. I love that guy.
What's he doing? The actual headline is just a video, 75 years of speed at Silverstone, more than just a track.
Okay, your headline, I would be very disappointed if that's what I got. Because that is not salacious at all. That's just fact.
Which is typical, because I do these, every week we're on, and I go and I read these salacious headlines. I click on it, I go and read the story, and it's a complete nothing burger. And almost has nothing to do with the headline.
I would still enjoy the video. I would enjoy watching this video on Autosport of 75 years of Goodwood. That's great. I want to watch that. But that's not scandalous secrets that I was promised.
So this one comes back to the story we referenced earlier. The tabloid headline is Newey's sneaky escape. F1 genius caught dodging Aston Martin's 2025 disaster.
Okay, that one's accurate.
That was actually pretty good.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, that one is actually pretty good. I like that. The actual headline, why Newey goes to another office to avoid work on 2025 Aston Martin F1 car. That was
all
the
right,
actual
that one.
headline.
Autosport, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, you could have
worked
there.
that one better.
You could have done the tabloid rewrite of that one.
I think you could have even just gone with what the first half of Alonso's. He's interested, says Alonso about Adrian Newey. That would have been a better headline.
He's working. Yeah. Let's see. The next tabloid. This is another bear. Bearman's heartbreaking F1 journey, family shocking sacrifices, and mental meltdown exposed. Whoa.
Oh, wow.
That sounds dire. But the actual headline was Oliver Bearman reflects on the financial sacrifices his family made, the key opportunities that changed the course of his career, and the mental reset required during a tough rookie F1 season with Haas.
I mean, I get that his story is more like Ocon's, right? That his family didn't have a lot of money and they just drove around in a van and they really did have to give up everything for him to do this. So
right.
But the mental breakdown was the part that was
mental meltdown exposed.
All right.
Let's see. This one references something we talked about. The tabloid rewrite is F1's 2026 tire terror. Pirelli's nightmare plot to wreck the grid.
Mario Isola says, screw you guys, I'm going home.
Right.
Wet weather tires, not my job.
Mule car, not representative of 2026. The actual headline, as we mentioned above, why developing the all-new F1 tires for 2026 is so challenging. Pirelli and their plot to wreck the grid. There are probably some detractors of Pirelli's and HT tires, and I'm actually one of them that probably would agree with that. Let's see.
Why would it doesn't benefit Pirelli to? That's like self-sabotage.
No. Let's see. Tabloid rewrite. Ferrari's secret Magello plot. Suspension scandal to shake up F1.
Suspension scandal.
Yeah. The actual
push
headline. Pull rods. Push rods.
Oh, whatever. I don't
know. Let's see. Ferrari F1 filming day at Magello offers rear suspension test chance.
Right, because it like bends the rules, right?
Yeah,
you're only allowed so many miles.
Shake up.
Yeah, like in the old days when Renault under Flavio the first time they would only raise half of spot, like they'd only do Eau Rouge, right?
Right.
As long as you didn't do a full lap, it didn't count. So they would just like spend the day going up and down. Alonso and Trulli would just spend the day up and down Eau Rouge because you could do testing as long as you didn't do a full lap. Okay.
Right. Next tabloid, and the final one, I promise you, I know I did several. The tabloid rewrite is Audi's F1 takeover shocker. Bortoletto spills on 2026 domination plan.
I love poor Gabby taking strays. Like, what did he do to you?
I know.
He seems like a very nice. I do think it would be funny if it was Nico Hülkenberg because he's got a lot of. I mean, he's been on a lot of teams. I'm sure he has a lot of tea to spill. But Gabby just got here. He seems like a very talented, very nice person, and it's like he's the one that's gonna dog everybody at the team.
Right.
Cool.
The original Autosport headline was why Bortoletto is already confident about Audi's 2026 F1 potential.
We only have up.
Right.
I mean, yeah. But
so good.
Right on Nico Hülkenberg. I mean, I think that to me, I will say, so I do have some commentary about the F1 movie, but I'm going to save that. So that
you got to save it.
So people have some time to see it. Not spoilers, but there were some things, because we saw it in a theater after Silverstone. So first of all, that was a mistake, because Silverstone was a pretty good race, and this did not hold any water to that. But we were not in there with other F1 fans, and that was for sure. Because there were moments that Flip and I laughed, and nobody else was laughing. There's one point I'm like yelling at it like it's a race. Nobody else knows who these people are. I'm sure that they're just like, this lady next to me at the movie theater just kept yelling names. Like, who are these people? Who's George? Why does she keep yelling at him? Right? Like,
right.
I don't know.
Good
but
point.
yeah, so I did enjoy it. But see it with people who have no idea. It was fun.
Good. All right. Well, that does it for this week. That's what we think about the news. You tell us what you think about the news. We're more interested in what you think about it. Of course, you can tell us that over at theparkforme.com. Share your opinion with decorum and civility, as always. If you're a fan of the podcast, give us some love. Give us a nice rating. Share the podcast. And we would appreciate that. Share the episodes on all the social platforms. You can watch this on YouTube. Hit the bell icon, the subscribe, like, and all that. That helps. Would really appreciate that. And a huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters, because we could not and we would not do this podcast if it wasn't for all of you. So, with that being said, until we come back the next time, I think we're going to be talking about the mighty Spa-Francorchamps, which should be lots of fun. So we'll come back. But until that time, this is Todd, a.k.a. Negative Camber, saying so long, Grace.
See you in a couple weeks.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. I don't feel I've got to prove at all. I don't really want to prove anything. I started as an amateur with no idea or no intention of becoming world champion. I was curious to find out what it was like to drive a car fast, to drive on a certain circuit, to drive a certain type of car.